This is David Carr, creator of the RSVPMaker for WordPress plugin, with a tour of options for setting up your registration form and your event pricing. Some features are new, some are improved. Here they are. For a demo, I'm using some work that I've been doing to update the website of Swank's Specialty Produce, which hosts a wonderful series of gourmet dinners featuring the best chefs in South Florida. A typical event of theirs would invite me to register myself and any guests. And when I submit the form, it will calculate based on the number of people that I'm registering that I need to pay $360. I can click through and pay with a credit card using Stripe checkout. I have one other event that I've set up with a slightly more complicated scenario where here I already know that I want to register for this. I don't need to read all the details, but I do have some choices to make because for this event there are actually several different prices available to me. I can either take advantage of the early bird price as long as I register before September 5th. After that date, the regular price will be displayed. And there's also a table of 8 option for anybody who wants to maybe bring all their employees along with them or a big family group. There's a coupon code that I can enter to get half off. So I'm going to take advantage of the early bird, but I also have been given a coupon code that I can take advantage of. Again, I'll put in my details. And for this, I also am prompted to make a meal choice. So if I decide that I want the steak, I'm going to pay an extra $10. And this could be any kind of option. You know, if it was an educational event that you're registering people for, this could be the upcharge for the additional one-on-one coaching session. And then how did you hear about us? Google a search because we're going to make sure this is search engine optimized. And again, we can enter a number of guests. If I don't know who the names are, I'm going to add the names later. It'll put in some placeholder codes. And again, if this person is going to get the steak, I can check that off. And there we go. Now to set all this up, you may want to visit the RSVPMaker screen under Settings and change a few defaults. If you generally want to collect RSVPs or registrations for your events, you may want to turn that on by default. It can also be changed at the level of each individual event, whether it's just informational or whether you're collecting registrations. You can also set a default email address that will get notifications every time somebody does register. So we could change a couple of things there and save it. If you want to collect money, you're also going to need to set up a connection with Stripe or PayPal so you'll get the credentials out of your account there and record them in here. I'm not going to go into great detail about that, but that will have to be configured for you to be able to collect money. And then another thing that you'll want to set up for the event is what type of event is it? What kind of information do we want to collect? Now, if we look at our default form, it asks for first name, last name, email, phone, and whether that's a mobile phone, home phone, or work phone. And we repeat the fields for first name and last name, but not email or not phone number on the guest form. We could ask for additional questions that we want to have on the form, like, where did you hear about us? And that will be added as a standard field on the form that everybody will be asked, where did you hear about us? And that will appear on your RSVP report. And again, that one you probably wouldn't want to repeat for guests. Now you can also have variations on this. So we can say that we want to clone the default form, and we can say this is going to be dinner with meal choice. And so for this, we're going to add a radio buttons or multiple choice field that is meal choice, spaghetti, again, steak, or let's make it prime rib. And we'll say that that's also going to be something that we'll need to prompt for on the guest field. We want to know that for the guests, not just for the main person. And we'll have it default to the first item, spaghetti. So that's our dinner with meal choice option. When we go in and add an event, among the things we can choose are what form do we want to use. So if this is going to be the dinner with meal choice, we will get our choice for what kind of food they want to offer. And if this is going to be a priced event, we can set this to collect money via Stripe. Again, we need to have that set up first. We can say what kind of thing, basic thing people are registering for. Well, it's the dinners. And it's a $20 dinner and add price. You can also have an upcharge associated with specific choices. So if you want the prime rib, you're going to pay an extra $10. We could also optionally have a coupon code. So we can say our coupon code is half off, and we are going to enter a decimal amount here. So it's 0.5 is our example, and we'll add that code. And we could go back and delete it or edit it later. So it's going to be 50% off whatever the charge is. We prompt you to fill in some of these choices in advance before you even put in your event content, but you can also come back to them later. So special dinner, and you can add all sorts of text and images here just as you would on any blog post or web page. But for now, let's just publish this, and let's go out and look at our form. It does prompt yes or no, which is the traditional RSVP. You respond either yes or no. You can have that hidden if everybody's going to be responding yes. We ask the host to give us their email, their phone, and then if we want to add guests, they also get prompted to choose the meal. Suppose for this particular event, we actually want to offer a couple of additional meal choices. So I can go back into my editor, and to get back those controls, I click on the sidebar where it says RSVP event options. So now we can go in here, and we could make changes that are going to apply to every time we use the meal choice form. But suppose we want to clone this. This is going to be the extra meal choices variant. Giving it a name is optional, just in case you think you might use it again for other events. Otherwise, it'll just be stored as specific to this one event. So this is our extra meal choices version. And so we'll add pork chop and filet none. So now we have some additional options that are going to be offered with this particular event. And in pricing, we can say that pork chop, like this, the prime rib, will be an extra $10, but the filet mignon will be an extra $20. And on the front end, we'll see our change. To change options associated with this form, The shortcut is to go to RSVP event options, which will bring up that dialog, or we can also actually go to the form or the pricing section. So let's go back into pricing. So I have my basic dinner's choice, which is for each dinner, it is $20. I can also do something like table of 8. I can make that, rather than $80, be 75. Not 750, 75. So there's a little bit of a discount for getting a table of 8. And maybe I'll have a deadline associated with that. So if you want that discount, you need to be registered by this date at noon. And I'll set the multiple to be 8. Now we suppose they reserve for a table of 8 and they add a 9th person. Well, we can add a price for that too. The base price of $20 for any additional person above 8. Okay, so now we have table of 8 by this deadline at noon, and the multiple is 8. And what the system will do is, if they reserve a table of 8, we'll put in 7 dummy entries as guests. If they haven't given us all the names, it'll just go in as guest 1, guest 2, guest 3. I hope you see that gives you a lot of options with the power of RSVPMaker, plus everything that WordPress offers. Of course, it could always be better. Please don't hesitate to give me your feedback.